DBS community, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video with Kyle Chris, and today we're going to be going over one of the yellow leaders that are coming out in Realm of the Gods, which is going to be the Wish leader today, which is going to be Zamasu / Goku Black. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the leader. I know we're about 2 weeks away now from pre-release, at least from the recording of this video. So we're going to be getting these cards pretty soon here. And if you do have any local stores that are going to be doing the pre-release event, try to support at least one of them. You know, whichever one is your favorite or whichever one, you know, is the best for you guys. So you can start getting these cards and getting some physical play, you know, in, because that's gonna be important. So the Zamasu leader, aka Yellow Wish Goku Black, this leader is, in my opinion, probably one of the better yellow decks that we're gonna have for the format. At least on surface, at least on paper, it's going to be a really, really good deck. A deck that can draw a ton. Also a deck that has access to Aegis just built into the deck, which this deck does very, very beautifully. Having a ton of tall, indestructible guys. There's a lot of things that this deck just does very, very well. And it's scary. It's really, really scary if you think about it. You have all the tools of a yellow deck, on top of having Aegis back, which all of these effects are maybe even better than the Arrival Bojack that we used to have. So, but you guys let me know what you guys think. So, leader, when this card attacks, you add up to 2 Dragon Balls from your deck and or your life, and shuffle any areas you've gone through, very similar to Magic Gabora. And this card has a 2 different requirement awaken effect for the Wish. Either we get 3 life, or if you have all 7 Dragon Balls in the drop. Which in case you draw a card and place all the Dragon Balls in your drop area in the bottom of your deck in any order, which is nice. So if you get the 3 life because you're getting aggro down, you have 2 Dragon Balls in your drop area, you can just shuffle. You basically just put those 2 into the drop area, and then you have then you're able to awaken. This is something that Magic Gabora can't actually do, which is very, very annoying, right? Like Magic Gabora not being able to awaken if it doesn't have all 7 Dragon Balls in the drop, or it doesn't have like a life requirement, is really bad. So that's just something to consider, right? So on the awaken side here, go to this, and on this side we have Goku Black, and has 3 different effects on this side here. So activate main, and any of these are once per turn. You would draw a card, add up to 1 Dragon Ball from your deck to your hand, and this is essentially a draw. This is actually kind of like a +2, depending on which Dragon Ball you grab. And the final one is you remove all 7 Dragon Balls in your drop from the game. You play up to 1 Zamasu with energy cost of 2 or less with Indestructible from your warp, and this card gains triple attack for the turn, which is very powerful, obviously. So we're going to go over the deck list, and we'll see what you guys think. Alright guys, so here's what we have for the Goku Black deck. I think this is a 60 card deck. Yeah, the 60 card deck. Now, this can always obviously be shrunk down, but just in my experience with playing Wish leaders, actually, honestly, the more cards you run, the better, realistically. Wish leaders, you want to play at a high life total. You don't want to be at the 3, at the 4, even 5 life. You want to be at 6 and 7, and possibly 8, obviously, you can be there. But the idea is to stay at a high life total. And with a leader that has the ability to search your own life, it feels really bad when you have 3, even 2 Dragon Balls in your life, right? Because that's just uninteractable damage that you are just taking, right? And your opponent hasn't even swung at you yet. So there's a lot of bad implications to that. So having more cards, you have a higher chance of not having those cards, obviously, in your life. So a lot of stuff here to go over. So we'll just start here at the top and go over the 9-drop Zamasu here. We have a Fused Zamasu Exterminating Force. This is a unique double strike indestructible blocker. You can evolve on top of a 5-drop blue Zamasu at a cost of 5, which we have this guy here, the Divine Condemnation, I think it's called. And this is an Aegis effect. So also, when if your leader is a Zamasu or Goku Black card, you negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas, basically making this a free blue-yellow. That's nuts. Like the fact that this deck now has 3 check lands, because I think this card has the same effect, right? You have these 2 check lands, and then you have obviously the Zamasu, the Eliminator. You have 3 different check lands, and that's really good. If you guys see how well that worked out for Android 16, right? Being able to just play multicolor as check lands. Or for free, right? When this card activates the Aegis skill, you draw 1, and then choose up to, switch this card to active mode, and then choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch to the rest mode. So this is a 35k blocker that draws you a card. Aegis restands 2 energy, obviously. If you guys don't know what Aegis is, you pitch a blue-yellow or a blue and a yellow card, then you get to restand 2 of your energy. So this card restands 2 energy, draws you a card, restands himself, and then taps down an opponent's card. Card. Keyword, card. So it's leader, it's unison, it's energy, it's battle card, whatever, right? Incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful skill, right? Now, obviously, this is your boss monster. This is your big boy, right? This is 4 energy to play this guy. Into blue matchups, this card's probably not going to hit the board, right? But in any other matchup, this card comes down. Even if it's a yellow matchup, that's fine. I'll play this guy in rest mode. Great. I still have him on board, right? Now you have Fuse Zamasu here. This is the guy that you play into the 9-drop. Has all the same effects except for double strike. He's a blocker indestructible Aegis. Same Aegis effect. When this card activates Aegis effect, you switch up to, you choose up one of your opponent's non-leader cards and switch to the rest mode. So you can choose any energy, unison, or battle card, right? Activate battle of a blue and a yellow if your leader is Zamasu or Goku Black, and there's at least 1 Zamasu and 1 Goku Black in your combo area. Play the card from your hand. So it's essentially it's an arrival 2. That's what that is, right? That's pretty cool, right? So we're gonna keep going on the list here and just kind of go over all the other. We'll kind of go over all the new stuff, right? So we have the Rose Goku Black future on the line. This card also is treated as blue, which I think this card. I'll just point out right now. This is going to be one of the most expensive cards in the set. I think this is going to be the divine transformation of Supreme Rivalry. I say that because this card does not have an SPR printing. Ben already said that we're going to be getting SPRs more, and the SR ratios are going to be cut down. This card only has 1 printing, right? This card is not leader locked. This card also counts as blue, even though it is a yellow card. Auto, if your leader is yellow when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's non-leader cards, switch to the rest mode, which is an activate main for 2. If you have 2 or more blue and or yellow cards in your battle area and or combo area, you play this card from your hand or warp. Or warp. It's important. This is important. This is or warp. Activate main, send this card to the owner's warp, draw 1, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards to switch to rest mode. And KO it. So you have 2 battle cards in your battle area, right? You could tap 2 and play this card from your warp, right? Now it has no defensive, nothing, right? But you're playing this from your warp, so you're not losing hand advantage, right? You're playing it from the warp. And that's an activate battle, right? When it's played, you can tap something. Then on your turn, you can swing with it, and then tap 1, warp it, draw a card, and then KO something. This card is nuts. Like, just read it. Just read the card. Just read the card. The card is great. Now, it is very expensive. For the whole combo, it is 3 energy. And in this deck, because you have Aegis, it's probably a little bit easier to run. So this isn't something you're going to see in every single deck. But, and the chance we get any other type of energy manipulation yellow decks, or we just get solid blue-yellow, right? This card's going to be very good. Very, very good. So we got 3 of those. Dragon Balls, we have 4 of the Coercion and then 3 of the old school Dragon Ball here, which is just if your leader is a Shinron card, draw 1. Which, if you notice, this card is a Shinron. It's a God, Shinron, and Saiyan, I think. We have Coercion. Leader is a yellow Saiyan, Zamasu, or yellow Saiyan, Goku Black. You may choose 1 God card in your hand, send it to the warp. If you do, draw 2. So the idea is that you warp this card from your hand, use this to draw 2. You're just cycling 2 cards. It's very, very good, right? Next, we have Zamasu self-supported. If your leader is a Zamasu or Goku Black, add this card from your hand to your warp. So you can actually pitch this card off of your Coercion and then add it back with 1 yellow. This is because you want this to be able to, you want to combo this off so you can use your rival stuff. Send this card and 1 Goku Black card from your combo area to the owner's warp and draw 1. So the idea is that you combo with a Goku Black, you combo with this, you play out this, okay? Then you, in that same battle step, you then activate battle, you send this and this to the warp, and then you draw a card. That's really good. It's so much cycling, right? And you don't need a lot of this card because you're going to be able to just add it back from the warp, so it doesn't really matter too much right there, right? For Zamasu the Eliminator, I don't think I need to explain this at all. I do think it is very interesting that you actually can play this off of your leader effect. So if you have this card in the warp, let's say it got warped from your hand, or in this build we're not running Overwhelm, but you can also obviously run Overwhelm as well, right? So on your Overwhelm turn, you can use your, do whatever, right? If this somehow gets into the warp, like so you actually can use your leader effect to warp 7 Dragon Balls, get triple attack. Play this to draw another card, and then tap one of your opponent's battle cards. It's just kind of a interesting little thing that you can do. You also can play your Zamasu. Can't play that. You can play this because that's indestructible, and you can play this guy. So I was about to say you can play this, but you can't. Doesn't have it indestructible. So that's really cool, right? We have the old school blue yellow, really powerful championship card that we had, previously, like a year and a half ago. Divine Prosperity. This is a 2-drop negate. When this card is played from your hand during your opponent's turn, you choose one. If your opponent has 3 or less energy, you choose up one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and place it in their energy in rest mode. So the idea of this is that if your opponent goes first, right, on turn 2, you play an energy, you don't play anything, right? You have this in your hand. Your opponent's playing like a let's say a swap deck, or they're playing like a really aggro deck, right? Let's say Gogeta Xeno, for instance. They do a bunch of stuff. You play this. Right, you then warp their thwarting. You warp whatever card it is that's in rest mode. You put that card in their energy. Now they don't have access to it anymore. Yes, you do ramp them a little bit, so they do get an extra energy. So it is kind of a downside from that side, but it's pretty good just to get rid of some stuff, right? You also, like, if your opponent's playing like an Overwhelm card and they're playing a yellow deck or something, right? You can, or like any other color that's not black, you can then basically put that card, that Overwhelm card, into their energy. Now they have a black energy, and if they're running the bottom deck draw 2 super combos, it basically turns off all their super combos. So just a cool little tech that you can run. If your opponent has 2 more energy, you can choose up 2 of your blue energy and switch into active mode. So essentially this can be, if you use 2 multicolor to play this card, it's free, just a free negate, which is really cool. We're talking about Zamasu here. I have Unforeseen Dark and another promo card. This guy is just all reliable for blue yellow. If you have a blue yellow card in your energy, at the end of your turn, you draw 2, pitch 1, and then restand a blue or a yellow energy. It's basically just a 1-drop 15k that draws you 2 cards. Very powerful card. We're gonna run for that guy, obviously. He also counts as a Goku Black, so if we do need to pitch him off with our Zamasu to arrival out, something we can. One Swift Retaliation Cooler because it didn't get banned. Not enough to say there. 1 Bergamo, 1 Power for Super Saiyan, because you're playing yellow. You got to run them. 3 Mecha Friezas, pretty standard there. We got Supreme Kai as the secret rare. And you see here that we actually are running a blue Unison in this deck. Now, the reason is because I believe that this is probably the most underrated, probably the most overlooked card in the entire set. This may be the best, one of the best Unisons in the entire game now. I would argue that this is the best Unison to play in Soul Striker. Now, I'll argue that with anybody, but I'm just letting you know my opinion. I think this is the best Unison now for Soul Striker. Grand Priest, Invitation to Battle. So he's 3 blue, which is what we're going to play him out for. Obviously, we're charging blue and yellow, so we're going to be able to play him out. That's not a big deal there, right? +1, activate battle, switch this to rest mode, switch up to 1 of your blue god cards in your energy to active mode, and then choose the 1 god card with energy cost of 1 in your hand and use it in the combo. So the idea is that we actually can switch this to rest mode and restand any of our god cards, right? Our entire deck essentially is almost all god cards, so we can switch any of our blue yellow energy to active mode. Now this is on offense and or defense, obviously, but you have to switch this to rest mode, so you can't do it on the opposite turn. That's really powerful. -3, opponent plays a battle card that's bigger than their energy, you can just pop it back to their hand. Basically like a counter window 2 sort of counterplay, right? We pair this with God Sealing, obviously, so now we have a yellow deck that has access to God Sealing, which makes it very scary. very scary to deal with. We actually don't need a drawing Unison in this deck because we draw so much. So just having the Grand Priest there as an extra defensive card is very powerful. Yeah, we are a mono yellow Saiyan, so we can play Turles. It just blows my mind that this is possible, right? I'm not going to go over Turles, but the fact is that you can play Turles in this deck is just mind-blowing. We have Son Goku Steadfast Assistance, again another card. Now you have you don't have a ton of yellow extra cards in this deck, right? You have 4 Coercions, 1 Power Super Saiyan, and you actually have 1 FDP, Frost Deadly Poison. So you have some cards that you can use. So that's why we're only running 2. But once you get the Coercions in the drop area, this card becomes live. It's pretty scary, right? Frost Deadly Poison, this is your Cold Bloodlust for 3 energy, which then also, if you're at 3 life, you get to restand an energy, but it is a draw 1 as well. So card comes in with its skills negated in rest mode. This used to be the Fu Killer. Now this is going to be just whatever battle card your opponent plays that doesn't have Deflect. You can use this on that card also, right? Also, you also can use this as a charge fodder if you, for whatever reason, don't hit any of this stuff. But it's just a good card to have because it allows you just to trigger your Gokus and your Mecha Freezes, right? 1 Apocalypse Schemer. This is also a God card. Gives us 4 blockers, restands an energy every turn, and is a 20k deflect, 20k double strike deflect. It also counts as another Goku Black card, right? So this is a God card. All of these gods here, you know, they're the multicolor ones here. You actually can use these to combo off with your Grand Priest. So we can tap this to combo with this guy for free, and then combo a Zamasu here, and now we have our rival for our 5-drop here, which is really funny, right? And then since we'll be on defense, we'll be able to just can rival this guy out. We can use this to warp this and this. We can essentially, actually, what you can do, you can do this really funny play. I don't know how much energy you actually need, but you would tap this guy to combo with like one of your multicolors, probably this guy, right? Or like Divine Presence or the Divine Prosperity, right? So you combo with this for free off of your Grand Priest. You then combo with Zamasu. You then arrival out your fused Zamasu. So you just use 2 energy to arrival him out, right? Then you can Aegis, pitch a card, restand 2, and then tap one of your opponent's battle cards, right? Restand does 2 energy. Tap 2 to play this guy. Tap something else, right? Then you can put this guy. You can use this effect here. You can send this card and this Goku back to the warp to then draw a card. There's like so many interactions you can do on defense, and if we thought Aegis Mecha Freezer was bad, that this deck's gonna have so many different play lines. Now we need another boss monster that we can finish the game other than this 9-drop here. So we are running the SS2 Kefla Lightning Strike. This is your other arrival card you have here as well. Being able to bottom deck any card, pitch a copy of this card, draw 2, tap something, dual attack, double strike, 30k. Very, very powerful card. Not going to go over too much. 2 of the new Black Kamehameha. This is your new RAR Realm Attack Rare. It's kind of the replacements to the iconic attack rares. Get something 10k, choose something in rest mode and KO it, or on your opponent's turn you draw something and then choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards to put it rest mode. I think this card's very good. Is it a pure replacement for Power Super Saiyan? No. If you think it is, it like for this deck it is, because we can restand energy. In a typical yellow deck, this card's not gonna feel as good. Especially because everyone's gonna know that if you're playing a yellow deck, you're looking to play Mecha Freezer, right? This card's gonna be really, really good in this deck. It's gonna be really good in some other decks, maybe if they run Senzu Bean. But this card being at 1 now is going to hurt a lot of decks. This deck, not so much. So running 2 of this is going to be fine. If you don't want to be at 60 cards, you can always take this out. You also can take this guy out too, which is the Grand Priest Herald of Deliverance. I added 1 as a little, just kind of a little spicy tech. So you have 4 more energy. You choose 2 non-Grand Priest God cards in your battle area and return them to their hand. You play this guy out for 1 blue. He has a unique, and he's a 20k crit. So any of these cards here, you actually can just bounce back to your hand. So if you have a Zamasu the Eliminator and a Divine Prosperity on board, if you have a Zamasu and an Unforeseen Darkness or whatever, right? You can play Scout for 1, pop these back to your hand, and now you have access to these guys again, right? Like that's actually really cool, being able to play this. Pop a Zamasu the Eliminator back to your hand, use your leader effect to restand an energy, and now you have 2 energy up for your Zamasu the Eliminator effect. It's just very, very cool, kind of what this deck does. And then obviously we're running the Zamasu Super Combo, just because we don't really need the draw, and being able to tap down leaders is going to be really funny. In this next set, since we're able to tap down literally everything else other than leaders, we need the Zamasu to be able to tap the leader. So, but this is the deck that I have. How is it the best Goku Black deck ever? Maybe not. I don't know. But I do think a variance of this will be played, especially with the Grand Priest leader, the Grand Priest Unison here. I definitely think this is something to look out for, in not just normal blue decks, but in this deck as well, just because being able to give a yellow leader access to God Sealing, among everything else that this deck can do, is very, very scary. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.